Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Studio Live today and an Ask Me Anything. Yeah, we haven't done this for a while where we just gather together for a chat to answer any questions that you may have that have come in through the week. I may go on some rants about some things too because there's a few things that are grinding my gears at the moment. So we'll dive into that in a minute. If it's your first time here, who am I? What is this? My name's Pete Johns. This is Studio Live today. For nigh on 7 years now, I've been coming at you with tips and tricks and tutorials and strategies and rants and ravings about home recording, particularly recording in your iOS, your iPhone, your iPad, GarageBand, Logic Pro, you name it. We talk about it around here, and this is something I do every month or two, just to clear out the cobwebs and to well, blow out the cobwebs. To do something to the cobwebs, because a lot of the shows we do around here, such as Your Music Live and GarageBand Weekly, are a little more focused. This is unfocused. This is just going off on rants and tangents. So that's what we'll be doing here for the next hour or two. Very open and ended and unscripted. If you are new to this community, welcome aboard. The best place to go to get started is over here to studiolivetoday.com. That's where you can find all of the information, all the ways you can get in touch. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can check out the live shows, you can subscribe to the podcast, check out the gear guide, and join in the very cool community, because whether you're on Facebook or Discord or Instagram, you can be interactive. As well as right here. And you can even join the Patreon if you want to go to the next level, because we've been sharing some interesting things. I might give you a little sneak peek a bit later of some of the things we've been doing over on Patreon lately, because I've been workshopping how to get a live streaming mobile setup going along. And I've been trying various things with various devices and microphones, and we've had some success, we've had some failures, but that's the fun. October around here is going to be a lot of experimentation. We're going to be throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So that's been the start of doing that. I'm also going to be returning to Logic Pro. For those that have been saying to yourselves, you haven't touched Logic Pro since September or Songtember, we'll be returning to Logic Pro this month and creating some music in Logic Pro on the iPad, because I have at the moment the iPad M2 on loan from Apple, and I want to put it to its to use and make sure that we make the most of it while I have that, because my iPad, I've got the iPad Pro 2020, which is still a great iPad, but while I've got the power of M2, we should be spending some more time with Logic Pro. So stay tuned for that throughout the month of October, November. So I'm getting behind on myself here. Let's say g'day quickly to the folks who are here live. Hello to you, Mark Bro. Hello, Thomas Christ. Hope you're doing well. G'day, Psycho7. Thank you for being here. I went live with my cell on StreamYard at work. It worked great, but quality was twitchy. Yeah, and that's the general problem, is that StreamYard, the quality of streaming from StreamYard mobile, there's two problems. One is that the video seems to be a bit cutty in and outy because it's got to go through a third party and then go out to YouTube, as opposed to using the YouTube app directly, which is a lot cleaner. And the second problem is audio. You cannot use external audio because of the way StreamYard works. It doesn't have its own standalone app. I know we're getting into the weeds here, but that's what we do around here. It doesn't have its own standalone app, so you have to actually use the browser. And if you've ever tried to get audio working within a browser, within Safari or Chrome on your iPhone or your iPad, it really doesn't work well. And when I say doesn't work well, doesn't work at all. So we will be avoiding using that, which means we have to use the YouTube app, which means I have to get used to using the YouTube app as well. The other benefit of the YouTube app is YouTube actually gives you, if you're using their native stuff, look, and there's no real proof on this, but it's definitely been observed by me and others, that if you're going direct to YouTube from the YouTube app, it tends to put you in front of more people. It tends to give you more opportunities to be discovered and found. So there's that as well. So we'll be playing around with that. And like I say, I did a stream from down the beach. I'll give you a quick look at that for those that are not Patreons, so you can see what it was like. It was a beautiful day. It was on Wednesday this week, I think. I was down at the beach, and yeah, really, really nice. Doesn't work well. Pete's being generous. Yeah, doesn't work well or fails completely. If the very occasions that you can get it working, it'll just chop out almost immediately because they hate fun. Yes, the Apple browser, the WebKit browser hates fun. That's the way it rolls. Hey, tout le monde, everybody. Salut, Sylvie. I hope you are doing well. Je m'appelle Pierre. Like I say, it's all I got. It's all I really know. Hello, Jenny Jolivet. Jenny was joining me for a bit of the beach strolls as well. Never tried the YouTube. Yeah, YouTube app is interesting, and it does work pretty okay. In fact, I'll probably be testing it again today because I think I've got my sort of final rig set up that I wanted to try again. So I'll no doubt be out and about and trying more things out today. If you're a patron, keep an eye on the emails because could be going live at any time. Hello, Ashley HM. Thank you for being here. If you are here live and you do have questions, all you need to do is put a Q in front of your question. I've got some questions that have come in through the week from a few fine folks, and I'm also going to be answering some of the YouTube comments that have come in, because there's been some interesting questions over there as well. And like I mentioned, I've got a couple of rants to talk about. And in fact, before we dive into the questions, why don't we get a little ranty up front here? And I wanted to talk about subscriptions and price increases because 2 days in a row, back to back. In fact, they were on the same day. One was in the morning and one was in the afternoon. And this was really testing. I was in a good mood. I'd finished off the show that I did. I'd finished off GarageBand Weekly and I was going out for a walk and I get an email. And the email's from YouTube, of all people, because I'm a YouTube premium subscriber. And stop me if you've heard this one. And it says the following. It says YouTube Premium Family Plan Price Update. And you might be thinking along with me, update, that's never good. Update never means down. Update always means up. Why not just say price increase, but price update? Hi, Pete. Hi, YouTube. How you doing? Thank you for being a loyal member throughout our journey. We created YouTube Premium so that you could enjoy all the videos and music you love without interruptions. I know you did, and I love you for it. Thank you so much. To continue, here's in bold, which you got to worry about. To continue, in fact, why don't I show you? I've got the ability. We've got technology here. Let's bring it up here. To continue delivering great service and features, we are increasing YouTube Premium plan to $32.99 Australian per month. We don't make these decisions lightly, and this update will allow us to continue to improve YouTube Premium and support the creators and artists you watch on YouTube. Hey, that's me. Nice. This is the first ever price increase for your subscription, and in fairness, it is. I mean, it's an 83% price increase. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it is the first price increase for my subscription. As a long-standing and valued member, you are currently paying a lower rate, I am, for YouTube Premium because I'm grandfathered in, than available to new subscribers. To show your appreciation and loyalty, we're giving you at least 3 months extra at your current price. Before the price increase to impact your plan, your price will not increase before April. So 3 months left to enjoy YouTube Premium. Nice. Don't worry. Don't worry. Whenever anyone says don't worry, like if anyone's ever panicking and you say don't worry, nothing worries anyone more than saying don't worry. We will notify you again at least 30 days before the new price takes effect. We hope that you continue to be a member. You can cancel your subscription at any time here to check the status of your account and billing information. Blah-de-blah-de-blah, YouTube Premium team. So, what do you think? What do you think about that? So to give you and here's the other thing, I don't like, look, I worked in a corporate environment. I understand this is how you have to write things. When I worked for an energy company, we'd never say your prices are going up. We're increasing you by X%. We would say some changes to your agreement. Check here. And you'd be very vague and broad. But this is going from $17.99 a month to $32.99 a month, which, as I mentioned, is over an 80% increase in the amount that I'm paying for that, which is substantial. Now, let's look at this in isolation. Before I go off on a rant and get really angry about this, I agree that I was underpaying for YouTube Premium. I appreciate that I was getting a very good deal. Me and my entire family, and maybe my mum and dad as well, because they're my family. So for 5 users, I was able to have YouTube Premium on the family edition, which means that we all get access to YouTube Music. We get access to YouTube Premium features, and none of us have seen an ad in the entire 4 to 5 years that I've had YouTube Premium. And in their defense, it has not gone up. It has been $17.99 for that entire time. Would I be happier if they upped it to $19.99, then $23.99, then $27.99, and now finally $32.99? Probably not. So I guess from that point of view, if you look at it that way, it's still good value. And am I going to keep it? Yeah, I am. So it's kind of like a moot point. To get angry about this is just going to be like an old man yelling at clouds, which is fun, but often not particularly useful. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention because as much as I love YouTube Premium, it's going to be a challenge because everything is going up. Everything. Netflix has just gone up. Hulu's just gone up. Disney Plus has just gone up. And Apple One has just gone up. And I'm going to tell you an Apple story. I've got my Apple rant, but I'll be ranting about that a little bit later. Psycho says, I cancelled my premium a few months ago. Ads are a pain, but meh. Yeah. Be happy. Exactly. There's not much we can do. Don't worry. Be happy. But yeah, it's an interesting situation. Is there an 80% increase going to be worth the 90% cancellation? And that's an interesting thing. And look, we had this again. I'll go back to my time as a corporate gremlin. In the corporate world, yeah, you would actually literally assume that some people will cancel. When prices go up, people would cancel. Way less than you think. There's something that's colloquially called the lazy tax, which is that once people are used to something, you can kind of just push them a little bit, and they'll usually just hang on. I don't know. Is this a pretty extreme push? Yeah, maybe. So we'll see how that goes. I wonder if that increases everywhere. Haven't seen an email yet, I don't think. Yeah, and I think it depends when you signed up. I was definitely grandfathered in on a very low price, so others are probably getting smaller price increases, and they're probably in the works. Paid $112 for a year, and that's the other thing. I should probably check and see if there's a discount for a yearly plan, because there often is. You often pay about 10 months worth if you've like 10 or 11 months if you just pay the 12 months up front. And yeah, I too cannot live without the YouTube, especially without the ads. Yeah, maybe. And life is indeed getting super expensive. It's everywhere though. And the weird thing is that most of us, self included, are not actually making more money. Don't know about you, but my in the last 5 years, my income hasn't gone up 83%, yet my YouTube premium has gone up 83%. Hello, salut from Costa Rica. Pura vida, my friend, Olivier Fajaro. Here's an interesting thing. I'm going to take a quick side note here. I answer every single comment on every single video. But a while ago, I realized that, so my comments were completely clear, and they always are. But a while ago, I realized that about 4 years ago, like some random comments for about 4 years ago didn't show up, and then eventually did. And I'm going to show you something pretty darn cool, because as soon as I just saw that logo pop up there from Olivier, here's something interesting. Can we see this on the screen? You can't really, because of the green screen there. But that is my current comments. And that top comment there is from Olivier. And I know it was from 4 years ago. And apologies, I never responded to it because it didn't show it to me until about 2 years ago. And by that stage, kind of wasn't worth it. So when I'm doing my comments every day, as soon as I get down to Olivier, I think, pura vida, I'm done. So I thought that was pretty funny that I haven't seen Olivier around the chat for a long, long time, but I recognize as soon as I see that icon, then I know that it's job done. I've completed all my comments. Hello, Barry Glenn. Hope you're doing well. So there was a question here, so I will make sure that I've said g'day to everyone. Yeah, exactly. I've got so many subscriptions. And what it's caused me to do, here's the thing, who'll probably lose out for this is not going to be YouTube or Apple. I'm probably going to keep them, but I'm probably going to get rid of things like Netflix or Hulu or no, Disney Plus can't go because there's Simpsons. There's Simpsons to think of. So we do have a question here. Do I need audio interface if my MIDI USB cable is working already? And is there a free app to test velocity of the digital piano to the computer? To test the velocity. So we'll start with that one first. Is there a free app to test the velocity? So if you've plugged in a digital keyboard, like a MIDI keyboard, digital piano to a computer, and you want to test the velocity, I mean, there probably are. I tend to just plug it in. And look, the way that it works is that it's kind of digital, so it's either working or not. It's either on or off. So when you hit a key and you just sort of hit it however hard you hit it, that'll bring up the velocity. But I guess I would just record into GarageBand or into Reaper or whatever type of computer you're using and whatever app you're using, and then just see. Like maybe just do a like do a crescendo and a descendo. Descendo? What's the word for the one that's the opposite of a crescendo? Diminuo? It's been a while since I did music theory. So yeah, I would just record and see. The question here: do I need an audio interface if my MIDI? No. So the short answer to that is no. So to hook up a MIDI keyboard to a computer, if you're using USB and you've got a USB port and you plug it straight in, you don't need you don't need an audio interface at all, because you can monitor directly through your sound card. Now, you may not get the best quality sound, because if you're using just the built-in sound of your computer, you're not going to get sort of the highest fidelity sound. If you're looking for, 192 kilohertz, 24-bit audio, you may not have a nice high impedance headphone jack to plug good quality headphones into, and you definitely don't want to be driving some quality monitor speakers. So if you want to get some studio monitors, then yeah, you'll need an audio interface. But no, I've done a heap of work where if you've just got a laptop and you've got a MIDI keyboard, USB, straight into the USB port, load up your DAW, throw some headphones, plug some headphones in the headphone jack, and record. You're away. So you don't need. If you do need, if you are in the market for an audio interface or for anything, of course you can go to this place, the one-stop shop for good things, which is studiolivetoday.com/gear. That is my gear guide, which I'm trying to bring up here, except I'm typing incorrectly. It's Saturday morning here, so you'll have to bear with me. So go to studiolivetoday.com/gear, and that's got all of my recommendations. So if you're buying anything at all, these are all affiliate links, which means if you make a purchase, you pay the same price, but they do break off a chunk and send it to me. So if you're buying on Amazon, Sweetwater, eBay, or Thomann, just use those links there. So if you're sitting over in Canada, like Mr. Mark Bro, he would come in here, click on the Canada option there, and then dive in and go shopping to his heart's content. And there's some good deals starting to pop up. We'll be doing a Black Friday show around Black Friday time. So we'll be checking out, because there's usually some deals in here around Black Friday. The M Audio speakers are looking like a good price. So there's often some good things to pick up. And I must admit, I don't go shopping for like big ticket items around those. I stock up on strings and cables and batteries and all the essentials, because you can usually pick those up for a pretty good price there. No problem. Well, you're welcome. And yeah, if anyone else does have any other questions, please feel free to ask them here in the chat. I ditched Hulu and Netflix, kept Disney and half a dozen free apps. I'm thinking I'm going the same. I think Hulu's on its last. So Hulu's at $17.99 US now for me. Don't ask how I got it, because I shouldn't have it. It's grey. So I'll tell you the whole story, because we're friends here. I early on, both Netflix and Hulu were only available in the US, and at the time I wanted them but couldn't have them because of the terms of service say that you have to be in the US. So let's just say that there are ways to create US PayPal accounts, ways to use a second Gmail address, and ways to therefore pay for things in another country. So I did all that. And then there's things called VPNs that allow you to tell your devices that you're in another country. So we did that as well. So I don't feel bad about it, because I've been paying for this stuff for the whole time, but the prices are going up and up and up and up and up. So Netflix is now at $15.99 a month, I think, and Hulu's $17.99 a month. They're US dollars, which means they're about $30 and $33 a month, respectively, for me. So they may be getting the pause button hit, or potentially the cancel button hit very soon. Diminuendo, I think it's diminuendo, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I don't have an interface kind of focus, right, etc. The Samson G-Track Pro mic has a line in for instrument. Yeah, they're good. The Samson G-Track. Our buddy Patrick over at the GarageBand Guide tried one of those out a few years ago now, and they're good. I love Samson gear. I think if you're going to buy mid-level, mid-tier gear, if you want something that's going to be good quality but on a budget, Samson all the way. I use the Samson CO1 mic on my first EP for like everything on it, and it still sounds great to this day. Lately, my stream audio has been piss poor using fiber service. Is it possibly my audio input is too loud, getting clipped? Yes, almost definitely related to your audio being too loud, because if you're getting clipped, as in like So you're talking clipping distortion at the top end? Yeah, so the main reason, well, one of the reasons that I love using a mixer is that you'll probably see me glance down in that direction occasionally because what I'm doing is I'm checking the levels every now and then. If I'm playing audio back or doing something, I'll be checking on the levels to make sure that I'm not clipping. Now, I'll demonstrate here. I'll deliberately clip. So if I take my main fader here on my Zoom Live track and turn it all the way up, and then I talk like this, you'll hear that it's clipping at the top end there. I've got red lights popping up here. And if that's the sort of thing that's going on for you, then yeah, it's probably up too loud. So the idea there, what I do to test my streaming setup, so before my happy hour shows, for instance, and I want to get the levels right, because you do want as much volume as you can without clipping, but you're better off if there's a choice. As a listener, I would rather grab my volume button and tap it a couple of times because I can't quite hear loudly enough versus having to hear the occasional clip or distortion in the audio. So that's definitely a cause. I have the same sort of problem. It could also be a bandwidth thing. So even if you've got fiber, like I've got fiber to the premise here for internet, and upload speeds are usually pretty solid, around 10 megabit per second, which is plenty for 1080p video and good quality audio. But it goes in and out. So depending, like if you've got a lot of devices plugged in, or if you're in a neighborhood where a lot of people are Netflixing and chilling and whatnot, then occasionally you can just hit those little bits where because it's all, remember, it's all just bandwidth. Like you can say, well, but my connection's great. Yeah, but if other people are pulling things in and out, it may not be. So sometimes when your audio kind of cuts in and out, it's because of that. Because you will find that, like when I'm streaming here, it'll be streaming at like the full bit rate, and then what it does, you'll notice that if the internet starts going dodgy, which never happens on Studio Live Today shows, no, of course not, then you'll hear it sort of start, you'll see the video go a bit more pixely because it'll probably drop the resolution and the frame rate, and then eventually you'll hear the audio start. But yeah, if you're not noticing any video artifacts, but you are noticing audio clipping, then it's more than likely that, yeah, your input gain is set too loudly. So if you're using an audio interface, or if you have a way to control it, depending what device you're using, you can either control it for, like I did there, with an actual physical fader, or if you don't have an audio interface or mixer, you need to go into your control settings. But remember, it's the input, not the output. Your output volume level that you're hearing has nothing to do with what you're sending out to the world. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Black Friday. Nice deal on the Spark amp. I do like the Spark amp as well. I don't have a cable, a TV. I have an antenna. So yeah, TV, free TV is actually really good. In Australia here, I've got what's called Fetch TV, which is like a box, like think TiVo. So I can record all the free to air and then skip ads. So we actually record a heap of stuff on commercial TV and then skip the ads. There's also the ABC, which have got some really good shows here in Australia. So I love the ABC ABC stuff, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, be like CBC in Canada or PBS in the US. Hello to you, Rodriguez Bailey. Hello, Pete Johns. Hello, Thomas Christ. Been one of your elderly fans since purchasing the Selfish Aware album 2018. The first time watching a live chat. Well, welcome aboard. Always love to hear it and love to see it because, and that's one of the main reasons I do these kind of more casual, just, you know, let's have a chat. Let's just ask me anything that might be on your mind, is because, yeah, often I'm go doing a show and getting really stuck into whatever the topic is. Sometimes it's nice to just stop and smell the roses every now and then. Yes, I am sneaky in the grey market, but on the plus side, Princess, I have not illegally copied or pirated anything in like 10 years because I went clean because I felt bad, and as a creator now in particular, yeah, I feel bad. Did I tell you I'm a Netflix police officer? And I was going to support the Cleveland Browns. I put out, it was you, Doug, wasn't it? This is where I get embarrassed because I'm like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was Doug. I put out a call recently because I'm like, you know what? I don't have an NFL team. I don't really have an NBA team either, but I'm not that interested in basketball. But everyone gets into football around this time of year. And I'm like, I don't have a team. Tell me who I should follow. And Doug put together a quick, he knows me well, so he put together a bullet-pointed argument of 3 key reasons why I should support the Cleveland Browns. And I just said, well, Cleveland rocks, Cleveland rocks, Cleveland rocks, Cleveland rocks. So yeah, I went with the Cleveland Browns. I actually even looked at it, I'm like, I was looking on eBay yesterday and I could buy like a Cleveland Browns hat. I just rock up with a hat on and people would just be like, what? He's suddenly supporting Cleveland? Doesn't make sense. haven't turned my TV in months. And look, I'm not a big TV guy either, Danny. I watch a little bit on Disney Plus over here. I'm watching Welcome to Wrexham at the moment, which is a really interesting documentary about the Wrexham football channel and football channel, Wrexham football team over in Wales with Rob McElhenney and what's the other dude's name? Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, so there's some stuff, but I don't watch a lot, to be very honest. Is this the best YouTube channel? Best is subjective. Perfection is unachievable, and best is subjective. So, yes, sure, why not? Let's go with that. See you later, Princess LDG. Thank you for being here and having a wee chat here today. Thomas Christ says, I have cable mainly to watch our local hockey team and can't even see all the game because some exclusives on ESPN Plus. Yeah, I must admit, another thing I subscribe to is the sports package on Fetch TV, which is sort of cable TV, but it's over the internet, and that's only for the hockey. So, which is not bad. I pay $5 a month for all the hockey because it's all ESPN, and I'm not in any of the markets, so I don't even have any blackouts, so I can watch every game without any problems. Thank you, Chris, as well. I rarely comment, but love your vids. Very helpful, mate. Thank you. Well, thank you, Chris. I love it. So this is cool to get some of the folks who maybe can't make the regular shows or just watching the tutorials can come along for a little chat. Yes, hockey. I didn't think you were watching the World Hickey Championships, Thomas. That would be weird. That would be very weird indeed. Aiden Wrestling, I like it. If my band records with two microphones to a PA speaker, will it be able to just sound great? And can we edit the EQ on the PA to make it all equal like a studio recording? Yes, with caveats there. So if your band records with two microphones to a PA speaker, there's so many variables here because it depends how many people are in your band, what are the two microphones, where are you placing the microphones there, are you recording the output of the PA then into something else, so are you recording it in? So what a lot of bands will do is, so basically whatever sound you're getting through the PA, if you're doing so you're playing a live gig and you've got your microphone set up there, so your two vocals there, and maybe you're plugging your guitars through directly, or your amps are going out and you're miking them up, or you're plugging them directly, whatever mix you get through the PA, and most PAs have a mixer, either a separate mixer standalone, or some PAs will actually have the mixer, including the EQ, right there on the PA. So you actually set all your levels on the PA. You'll then have some sort of stereo out from there. So when bands want to get a good sort of live recording sound, then you plug all your gear in, you get your levels right for the live performance, and then you send that out and record that onto a recorder, either a Zoom recorder, or plug it into a computer via an audio interface, or through your iPhone or your iPad. So for instance, when I have done some live shows that I've wanted to stream live and then record the output as well, I've got a Roland, so it's not really a PA, but my Roland Cube amp has all of that. So I plug my guitar into that, I plug my microphone into that, I set my levels, and yes, I do my EQ there to make it sound good for live, and then I record that. What you'd probably want to do is if you're not playing it for a gig, and if you're just using your PA to record so that you can then process it as audio for recording purposes, you'd probably want a flatter EQ. So for instance, you're playing a live gig, you might boost your bass or your treble because you're trying to fill the space or make your sound like more of a live gig. But usually, what most people will do when they're recording for studio stuff is that they record at a flat level EQ and then add EQ after. Not always. Sometimes people will just EQ it on the fly and record it in EQ'd. But if you want the flexibility to be able to boost and cut all your frequencies, I would record it pretty flat and then EQ afterwards. Because remember, if you put it into a DAW, into a digital audio workstation, GarageBand, Reaper, Pro Tools, whatever you use, then you can tweak the EQ after the fact. So hopefully that helps. But if you've got more details of your setup, then feel free to throw them here in the chat, because we'll be here for a while having a bit of a chat as well. Keep getting low bandwidth issue on StreamYard too. Probably need to upgrade my internet service. See, because I'm using Firefox now, because Chrome, look, I just got to upgrade to Sonoma. I think as soon as this stream's over, I'm upgrading to Sonoma, because I think that's, well, I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's all kind of pretty broke at the moment. So it kind of can't be worse. he says, and then you'll hear me crying from over the oceans when I update it and it doesn't work. But yeah, I'm getting so StreamYard will sometimes give me a low bandwidth notification when there isn't low bandwidth, and I know that because I can run a speed test at the same time, and I look at the quality afterwards, and nothing happens. And then sometimes it gives me a low bandwidth error, and there actually is low bandwidth, which is weird. Next time it happens, I'll tell you. It's usually when I'm sharing a screen. It's usually when I jump in here and start sharing screens that it shows me low bandwidth. But yeah, and then I go back and watch it, and there's no problem at all. So go figure. G'day, DJ Normal Norman. No such thing as normal either. Yeah, maybe some notes levels get more consistent, and that's the thing. If you're doing, especially if you're doing live streams of playing, it's usually your spikes. So, for instance, I know, like when I do my live streams here, I know that I need to have my vocal mic up quite loud. But if I start singing, yeah, 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 I'm going to start clipping. So you also need to be aware of that. And if you're playing along, if you're playing guitar notes, especially at the low end, your low end notes are going to be louder than your top end. So your diddly 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 dee, it's going to be okay. And then you go brung, and you play a big drop D chord, then that can actually clip you. So you do need to be wary of that. Thank you, Rodriguez. I appreciate you. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's just fun to chat. You're going to sell me on the Steelers. Browns are nothing but a headache. Yeah, look, and I've heard that, but I like an underdog. Which is a bit weird because I actually, so as you can probably tell, I support the Vegas Golden Knights as my second team in the hockey because I wanted the West Coast team. I support the New York Rangers and have done for a long time. They obviously haven't won a cup since 1994, so they're kind of underdogs these days, even though they're a big franchise. They're kind of underdogs. And then the Vegas Golden Knights, when they came in, I'm like, oh yeah, little upstart. They're not going to be good for a long time, but I get to a brand new expansion team to follow. And like 6 years in, boom, Stanley Cup. I'm like, okay. Fair enough. So I got to celebrate that last year. There you go, Rodriguez from Pittsburgh, living in Cleveland. Very cool stuff indeed. How am I finding Logic Pro? Well, I talked about it at the start. I'm actually going to be creating some music in November in Logic Pro for iPad. So I'm diving back into it. The problem I've had is that I wanted to start creating in it, so I didn't learn it properly. So I'm going back to scratch. I'm literally going back to the manual. I've been threatening to do this for a while, to do a read the full manual series. So I think I'm going to be doing that soon. So how am I finding it? Really good. Some annoyances. I did a video recently about how you can log problems like tickets when you're having issues in Logic Pro, because sometimes it has issues, but for the vast majority of times it's working effectively. It's definitely much better than GarageBand when it comes to mixing and mastering. So there's a lot of options that are a lot of options that are a lot better. There's some things that I'm finding that aren't as good. Primarily the things that like just getting in and recording is probably the biggest thing. So GarageBand is still easy to just pick up and record with, and go from there. So yeah, it's interesting. Alrighty. Let's continue on here. So I'm just looking at some things behind the scenes here. I've realized I haven't done a few things that I should have done. We bleed black and gold. One love. There you go. Alrighty. Not a big sports fan, says Mark. I have a problem with millionaires throwing a ball or passing a puck and then complaining about their paycheck. Well, I have to pay $15 for a beer at their stadium. That is true. If I wanted to go on a rant about the cost of drinks and food at a stadium, that would be another thing that I would definitely complain about, because I hear you on that one. It is painful to pay the sort of costs that you have there. It's ridiculous. When I went to the hockey in where was it? In Anaheim. So I'm at Anaheim at the pond there, the Honda Center Honda Center in Anaheim, and I had to line up for what was a good 30 minutes just to buy one drink. So I missed the start of the second period because I was lining up, and one can of beer was $16.50 US. I mean, it was a big can of beer. It was like a double can, because I guess they realized that people can't get to the drinks to buy enough drinks. So, it was a little bit weird, and definitely not affordable thing to do all the time. Wouldn't be shocked if there was a Steelers bar in Adelaide, actually. For sure, there's a few in Australia. There you go. Maybe I have to suss it out. Where I normally go, the main place I go to watch sport is actually at the casino, which isn't ideal because like there's got a really good sports bar there, but like just over the other side is all the old dodgy blokes betting on the horses, which I really don't like. So it's a tough one there. Still a fan of full. Oh, here we go. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the NFL debates here. I like it. Someone's having a party. Loud music is playing around my apartment. Great that I don't need to do a vocal take right now. Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun when you have people making noise? For me, it's usually just as I'm sitting down to do a vocal take, we have a see a psycho. We have like lawnmowers coming, or the dude next door's like trimming his hedges. It's not code for anything. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I do, Thomas. Stay at home, watch it, and have some cheap drinks there. Sending me a Browns hat. There you go. I like it. I like it. For updating to Sonoma, I suggest you wait until your weekend streams are done. Yeah, probably. Yeah, exactly. Record them and make it give you a live feel, Ashley, and make it feel like you're actually recording in like a live environment. I like it. Thank you. Yeah, the things changed. Mr. Dan Baker on that one was really good. See, it's telling me, StreamYard's telling me that I'm having stream. Yeah, it just goes down to 2 bars and then it comes back up again. Yeah, the song I did with Dan Baker. Dan is a bloody genius. Did everyone see Dan's? He did Somebody's Watching Me. He did a cover of that, and it is awesome. Let me dig it up. Did he actually share it to the YouTubes? Let's have a look. I saw it on Facebook. He shares a lot of stuff on Facebook, but I'm not sure if he had it on the YouTube. Let's see. There it is. He did do it. Oh, look at that. He's had 400. I mean, obviously Halloween's kind of Dunsky, but he's had 400. I'm going to paste it here in the comments here. Yeah, Dan Baker did this song. Go and check it out. It's the first song there, Dan Baker. And as you can see there, I won't play the audio because I don't know if it'll give me a copyright claim on that. Dan does such a good job with his covers, but look at that. Look at what he's doing there. Isn't that the coolest? Yeah, Dan Baker is the best. If you're not aware of Dan Baker, great creator, and on my song Things Change, he made that song. He by his playing violin on that one. Really cool. Really cool stuff. Thank you. Ball pen, I appreciate you. Oh, it's still playing in the background. I can hear it coming through my headphones over there, so I better pause that. Bluey Healer. Hello, Bluey. You are a favourite in my household, Bluey. I love it. Me and my children are a little old for Bluey now, but I still watch it. Is that a bit weird? Yeah. No, if you don't know about Bluey, you probably don't have children under the age of 12. But I did, and it's a great. If you're going to have to watch a kids show anyway, and it's that or bloody Sesame Street, I'll take that every day and twice on Sunday. So yeah, love me some Bluey. Yeah, I'll sing louder. Just sing loud. Yeah, it's a really good version of it too. I'm not going to risk it by playing some more. Go watch it. Go listen to it. Dan is the man. He's done an amazing job with that. He is indeed awesome. Yeah, great cover and great video. Yeah, go check it out. It's cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. If you want to see, I can't find it now because it's always a bit hidden. But Dan there's a video where Dan took my project and he actually recorded the violins live, and it was amazing. So very cool. It's a crazy video, but it's very cool stuff. Alrighty, we are hitting a break point here, and I'm trying out a new thing here. So I've learnt from Jade Star how to do the manual break inserts. So for those that have YouTube Premium, you'll be hanging around with me. For those who are watching on the ad supported, thank you for supporting me, and we'll be back after this short announcement from who knows who. Because I don't get to decide who the advertisers are. I just I press the button, and it's an interesting thing, isn't it? That we don't have any say over. And to be honest, every time I see folks complain and look, I've complained about it too, about the advertising. I do think that, and I know I've said this a lot, and I know it can be a little bit of a broken record, but hey, I get to do this for essentially for free Like it's free bandwidth that YouTube are giving me, and there are servers, there's computers sitting there that are grabbing my video from here in Adelaide and pushing it out there all around the world. That's kind of amazing. Again, for those of us that were in the early days of the internet, you'll know that for us, we had to upload clips. You'd have like little reel, you have to encode it at like a 56K level. And then if someone wanted to watch it, they'd have to download it. So like a 2 minute video would probably take you 10 minutes to download. And yeah, you'd have to play it in like a postage stamp size thing on your computer. And then if you downloaded it, you've used up half your hard drive space because you've run out. Yes. Yeah. Look, YouTube is great. It is great, and if you do have the premium, you are immune to the advertising. And yeah, look, it's again, I can complain about the YouTube because if you missed the start, we complained. I complained about the increase. So YouTube Premium here for me is going up from 17.99 a year to 32.99 a year, which is a massive, it's 83% increase. So that's obviously less than ideal. But I'm just hoping that that'll mean that they can continue to support creators because here's the problem. The problem that YouTube have at the moment is that they had a whole lot of advertisers. And I knew this, like back during the pandemic in particular, there was a whole lot of advertisers that were doing really well. And people like Zoom and online streaming platforms and people selling audio and video gear were doing well. People selling courses, like online courses, things like Masterclass, they were all buying ads out the wazoo. And then everyone went back to work. Everyone went back outside. Everyone started doing more things that weren't just sitting at home wanting to buy all the gear and do all the home shopping and learn things and Duolingo their way to happiness. So the advertising has gone down significantly. So for creators like me and all creators around the YouTube platform, as the advertising is coming down, it means not only YouTube making less from that, but obviously for those of us, like we get the 70% of the 30%. So any ads that are run, if you weren't aware, YouTube get a cut of that. So the advertiser pays, YouTube pay the creator 70%, and they keep 30% for themselves. So if people are buying, we're buying $10 worth of ads every day, and now they're only buying $5 worth of ads. Well, instead of $7, creators are making $3.50, and instead of $3, YouTube are making $1.50. So they do have to they are justified in having to increase prices because they're having to cover the cost of providing the service of YouTube. And again, I'm not an apologist. I do still think that corporations don't look at things the right way in terms of they should be making a reasonable profit. As soon as you're a public company, though, unfortunately, the way our capitalist society works, and yes, I'm jumping on my socialist soapbox for just a second, is that shareholders are king. People say customers are king, employees are king, CEOs are king, the boards, no. Shareholders are king, and shareholders dictate how companies behave, and companies will behave in whatever way that they can that's going to deliver value for shareholders. And as someone who will one day retire and has a pension fund or superannuation here in Australia, I'll need that. So I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to work out an optimal solution. But yeah, just think before the 80s, before capitalism really kicked into gear, companies didn't lay people off if they were still making money. They would only lay people off and give people the sack if they were unprofitable. There was no such thing as, oh, well, we missed our target by 3%, so let's lay off half the workforce. That just didn't exist. But in today's world where the shareholder leads all, there you go. Thank you. Yes, if you would like to hit the like button, you are more than welcome today. Let's talk this as well. Ad blockers. YouTube cracking down on ad blockers, and that started right after Google did a presentation at an ad blocker convention, which I learned is a thing. There you go. I didn't know that was a thing either. An ad blocker convention. The question you've got to ask, though, is if people are blocking ads, why are they doing that? It's because, is it the quality of the ads? Are they being served the right ads? And I don't know the answer in terms of how you fix things like that, because I was part of the problem. Like I compare this to back in the day that I would maybe back in my PC gaming days, there were occasions where I wouldn't pay for a PC game. I would borrow it. I would loan it from a friend, let's just say, because games cost $100, and I was a poor student and I didn't have $100. So if there was a game I wanted to play it, I couldn't afford to buy it, so I acquired it by other means. And did I do that with music and with movies back in the day? Yeah, maybe. But the problem is that the more of that happens, then the more the prices increase. Because for every $100 video game, you probably should be paying about $20 for that, but you're paying $80 for the five people that are the lowly students that used to be me that don't pay for the game. And it was the same with CDs. CDs used to cost $30 here in Australia. They probably still do. I haven't bought one in about 5 years. So, yeah, that $30 that you paid was a premium. And look, I paid it, but I paid it mostly for the bands that I really wanted, and because I wanted really obscure bootleg stuff that wasn't available anywhere else. But yeah, I understand the temptation. I understand the challenge of being able to profit from it. Plus, I'm a creator now. So yeah, I would love if people stream my music on legitimate services or purchase my music as opposed to just take it. But again, it's not the actual music creation is not my livelihood, so it's a bit different for me, but I get it, I guess is the point. At one point, ads on the internet were out of control with things like pop-ups was borderline malicious. That's when the ad blockers started. Yeah, that's a really good point. The ad blockers were not really invented to stop a 15-second mid-roll ad on a 1 hour live stream, or at least I don't think so. But they were there because the monkey that would click up would pop up that you'd have to click. That was the problem. So yeah, it was the really horrible banner ads, the pop up ads, because yeah, there's still pop up blockers, and I'm assuming do they count? Because I don't I think there's a pop up blocker just installed on Chrome and Firefox by default, isn't there? So I've definitely continued to block pop up to the point where like sometimes you'll go to your bank and it'll try to open some window for you to like log in or something. It'll be like, this has been blocked as a security thing, and I'm like, it's my bank's capture. I need it to pop up, so you have to like overwrite it. So yeah, I think that you're right that because of the nefarious use of a lot of this stuff, that's caused us to go into more problems and people to block all ads and think that that's the way to do it. And again, I don't necessarily blame them. I said I'd rant about Apple. Let's be fair. Let's be equal opportunity ranters, because I got another email. I got another email about like literally they were literally back to back. I can't show you my inbox because I've got other stuff in there, but they were it was day after. So one was November the 2nd, and then this one was November the 3rd. And I'm going to give Apple. I'm gonna say a good Apple on this. I'm gonna do a Brian Tong. That's a good Apple, and say that they actually did a good thing here. So their email came in, and this said subscription price increase. I like that. I like the simplicity and the upfront saying your subscription price is increasing. New $49.95, old $42.95, starting to December 2023. That's all I need to know. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Don't tell me because I'm a valued person. No, just tell me. Just tell me, what was I paying? What am I paying now? When's it going to change? And then I can go ahead and make a decision. And look, they did say this here. Thank you for subscribing. We just wanted to let you know. Apple is raising the price of this subscription from 42 to 49. Your subscription will automatically renew for 49 on 2nd December unless you cancel at least 1 day before. To learn more or review your subscription, cheers from Apple. There's only one. Oh, that's 7. I was going to say, did that actually change then? No. So they've given me a month. So here's cool. They've given me a month's notice. They've told me exactly what's going to change and when, and they've told me what price I'm paying now and what price I'll be paying in the future. You compare that to our mates at YouTube. Let's just do that. Let's go back to see this. And look, I know these are both companies that I work with. So if you think I'm biting the hand that feeds me, yeah, maybe a little bit. But I think everyone can do better. And I think if I wasn't critical of these things, you'd say, "Oh, John, you're only saying they're good because they pay you." Yeah, you can have both. I'm also not going to rail against them and go out and protest because I understand it's reality. But like family plan update, hi Pete, flowery. Here's the price increase. Not going to tell you what you're currently on. Not going to tell you how much that's increased by. A bit vague about when it's going to happen. We'll give you 3-ish months more, kind of, sort of. So I'll take the direct route. But maybe I'm the exception. What do you think? Would you prefer? Do you think Apple's or YouTube's price increase letter is better? I think Apple's is way better. because they're just direct and to the point and give me all the information. But I'm a very logical, non-flowery kind of guy. So maybe it's just me. Maybe because I'm like Dr. Spock and I'm just like I just need the facts. Then maybe it's different. Who knows? Doug says that everybody is trying to sell you on something. Seems the biggest commodity these days is bad ideas, misinformation, and misrepresentation. It's true. I was trying to work out what the appeal of Instagram is yesterday. I'm like, I got some time. I'm going to jump into Instagram and I'm going to see what's up over at the gram. Why are all the kids on the gram? And I'm scrolling through and it'll show, like, it kind of lulls you in. So I've opened up Instagram here and it's showing me, oh, it's the Christmas pageant today. So it's my niece and my sister at the Christmas pageant. Oh, a sponsored ad from Future ADHD. For those who hate the brightness of the big light, this dark mode version of our... So it's an ad for software that helps you if you've got ADHD. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think I have ADHD. Maybe the algorithm thinks I do have ADHD. Maybe I need to look into that, but not really relevant for me. But anyway, so second post is an ad. Third post is like a parody site that I subscribe to. Fair enough. We've got someone who's got a blue tick who I've never heard of. I don't follow them. I don't know who Gemma Donovan is. Maybe you do in the Canary Islands. And then the next one is a suggested for me ad from what is the Irish? So Lad Bible basically. I'm sorry. And it's a dude like punching, like showing how he fights. And then oh no, it's yeah. The next one is an ad. And so the next one's an ad. And then it's a band called Area 7 who I like, and it's a video of theirs. So, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 posts. 6 posts, one person that I follow, one band that I follow, one site that I follow, and 3 ads in 6 posts. So, yeah, I just can't even. Like I get it. I know that you have to make money. Like I'd be a hypocrite if I say you shouldn't monetize your YouTube or you monetize your social media. But like as Doug said, so many people are just selling you so many things that it gets exhausting. It makes it to the point where when someone's trying to sell something legitimately, people think there's a catch. To the point where I send out emails to people, like unsolicited emails when I hear a really cool song on Slaps or on YouTube or on Instagram if I happen to be there, and I say, hey, really dug your song. I do this show called Your Music Live. I'd love to spin your song. You can submit it here if you like. And about 50% of them either ignore me or sometimes when they respond, they're like, oh, is there any catch to this? Is there something? Are you going to then tell me I have to pay something when I respond to this? Are you going to slide into my DMs and then suddenly there's a link I click and it steals my information? Like everyone is correctly super skeptical of anything. Anything that sounds too good to be true kind of is these days. And yeah, it's a worry for someone like me just trying to legitimately be a person, not trying to scam anyone. Everyone just assumes that everyone is a scam, which I agree with. And I tell my children to think that way as well, because it's tough. Greetings. Indeed, I've been away from social media for a while, including YouTube, but here I am again, enjoying one of the channels with the best content, Studio Live. Big hug, blessings. Thank you, Pura Vida. Olivia, thank you for being here, my friend. As a valued customer, your money is very important to us, and therefore we want to have more of it. Exactly. Yeah, short and to the point. I like it. I like it. Logic Pro. I love Instagram. Well, see, and Sylvie may convince me because I'm happy to learn. My children love it. I don't let my youngest on there. She's only 11, but my 14-year-old loves Instagram as well. I think and I heard a term this week, which is bottomless scrolling. So, or infinite scrolling, which basically refers to the what we sometimes call death scroll, but the fact that you can just go forever. Like, you are never going to hit, until you hit, like, your bandwidth where it's just reloading, but you can just scroll forever. I'm ruining the algorithm right here, by the way, because this is making it look like I'm not engaging with any of these posts. But, like, you can literally, there's no end. And I think that's one of the things that I find most damaging and dangerous about it, is that I have a little bit of an addictive personality. I really like things that I like. So for me, things like this are dangerous, because if I watch a YouTube show, it ends, right? Like I'm watching Thomas or people watching my shows, there's an end to it. But yeah, there's no end to it. Then again, I suppose if you go to my GarageBand playlist of 520 videos, that will feel like there's no end. You'll get through it eventually. It's not limitless, but I don't know, the limitlessness of that. Don't get ads much. Yeah, maybe because I'm only on there so briefly and so rarely. Maybe I get all the ads because they're like, quick, he's watching. Just cram all the ads in there. Get him quick while he's there. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm trying. I'm desperately trying to do that. It's more media than social. There you go. Made some real good friends, musicians. Yeah, very cool. Well, that's the thing. I'm the same. Like a lot of people tell me that Facebook's terrible. And look, I don't love Facebook. I'll be very honest. But I like it more than other platforms. Probably because I've just used it the longest now, and I'm kind of used to it. And the sort of people that are like me. Yes, middle-aged people, older people, Gen Xers, they're kind of there. So there's a lot of people that are similar to me. So, Sylvie, if you found your tribe and they're on Instagram and you've got cool people there, then that's great. And yeah, look, I'm the same. There are some people like Sarah Newen, Xylo Aria, like these artists and creators. Yeah, they do a lot more Instagramming, and yeah, I've connected to them through Instagram, and it is a cool thing. I just use Instagram to message distant friends and look at memes. Personally, don't use it too much. Yeah, and look, I guess that's what I use Facebook for. So that's why I don't use Instagram so much. And let's not even mention that shall not be named. I like that it's called X now because it's just like it's just out. It's just forgotten. Because isn't X what you put when it's like nothing, or like when you draw a cartoon character and your character's dead, you put X's on their eyes. You have your ex-wife, your ex-husband, your ex-boyfriend. Yeah, X always just means gone. And it's why it's like the stupidest name for anything. It's like X is cool and slick and modern. It's like, no, X means gone. X means over. So, yeah, tell us what you really think, Johns. And it was on my list. It was on my list of things to say here, but apologies to redheaded detention because hang on, redhead detention, redhead detention. I think it was you. Is it you that I didn't play your song um, on the Halloween show, YML? And we're opening with that song anyway this week because don't know how, but sometimes I've got my spreadsheet there. I'm ticking them off, and I ticked it as played, and then I went back to the show, and lo and behold, didn't play it. Played the song before, played the song afterwards, didn't play it. So goodness knows, just a brain fart from old man Johns, but we'll fix it and we'll play it on the next one. I'm happy my children are in their 40s because of this world. Oof, yeah, I know. And look, it is hard, and I don't think, without getting too down, because I'm a generally positive person, I don't think, I don't think uh, it's probably the worst it's been in a very long time. But it's probably not as bad as it was, when the whole world was at war in the 40s or in the 1910s. It's probably not as bad as when the Spanish flu pandemic came through. It's probably not as bad as the Civil War when there was actual slavery happening and actual actioned racism. Now, racism occurs these days all the time. I mean, in the US, you had racist as a president for a few years, but it's still kind of considered not okay. Like no one's owning slaves. Well, okay, people are owning slaves, but not in the developed country. It's not considered okay. So as bad as it is now, it's hitting a bottom peak. I think we can come back up because you know what, the '90s were cool. I was very glad. I'm super happy and blessed that I grew up as a teenager in the '90s. We didn't have social media, so therefore there's very little evidence of what I got up to. And yeah, the world was kind of a better place in that it was sort of learning and we were growing and developing and it was heading in the right direction. And then we hit the 2000s and, it's been a bit of a 23-year slump. But with a few little ups and downs along the way. But yeah, I think that it's going to get better. I don't know. Like, every time I say this, I sound really negative because I'm like, it's going to get better because the people that want to make things again are usually in the older demographic, and they're just wishing things were the way that they used to be when they could be misogynistic and when they could be xenophobic because it was considered more okay to do that. And they're trying to bring that back into the mainstream, and in places like Florida, they're succeeding. But I think that the younger generation coming up are a bit smarter than that. I've actually got a lot of faith and a lot of confidence in the younger generation. Now, will there be children of children of children that have just are ingrained in the culture that they've been brought up with? Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be a problem as well ongoing. I'm not naive enough to say that's not the case, but I also think that the successes we've had, the wins that we've had in society of acceptance and tolerance and diversity, are actually pretty bloody good when you look at the grand scheme of things. If you looked back to the 30s and 40s and then you looked to now, yeah, there's a lot of really bad stuff going on, but we've also come a long way in terms of at least what is considered accept. Some people just are bucking the trend and going, no, that's not what I accept. Yeah, if I hear the terms woke snowflake, like basically you've lost an argument with me if you use the words woke or snowflake, because I'm just like, nah, not even engaging anymore. Sorry, you lose. And they're like, yeah, no, you lose. I'm not playing with you anymore. You've already lost. And people don't like that because they want an argument, but I'm not going to do it. X means worthless, which is why we use an X to vote. There you go. Yeah. There is always something. Exactly. Yeah. I believe the children are our future. Treat them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. So I couldn't resist it. Copyright claim. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Yes, the kids are all right. Exactly. My mother said the same thing when I was 16. Yeah. Yeah, look, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting times. How are we doing? Speaking of times, we're up to the 1 hour mark. I know, isn't that a good song? The greatest love of all. All right. Well, I've got a few questions here that have come in through the week that I wanted to chat about. So we're going to take a little quick break. I'm going to have a drink here, and we'll be back after these short messages. How good's Whitney Houston? Just quietly. Was Whitney Houston? Wasn't that sad? I mean, I know, here's the thing. I know that it's hard. I mean, we lost Matthew Perry recently, and a lot of musicians and a lot of performers, a lot of people that get success and get fame. Yeah, unfortunately, it's that level up thing, isn't it? It's why my wife thinks I'm crazy because I say I don't want to win the lottery. She's like, why do you want to win the lottery? That wouldn't it? You'd just be set up. You'd be set for life. And I'm like, no, because the vast majority of people that win the lottery, they've suddenly got all the money and they just start doing all the things, but then those things aren't good enough. So then they do more things that are more expensive. Have you seen these stories of folks that win like $10 million, but instead of taking $1 million, buying a good house and setting themselves up, they buy a $3 million house, which then costs them $1 million a year just to maintain, which then they have to hire another $1 million worth of, like they just spend, and they get to the point where they are broke again. And I think it's the same with a lot of these artists that they get this early success and they get addicted to the highs, to the dopamine hits of people paying attention. And then when things go badly, they've got enough money and enough time and boredom to get into drugs and to get into alcohol and to get into things that are going to cause them damage. So yeah, look, I know I'm not saying anything that anyone doesn't already know, except that it's sad. And we need to treat addiction and mental health a lot more seriously than we have done because, yeah, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston, like you can literally, Chris Cornell, you can literally count 100. If I sat here for long enough, I'd reel off 100 and it would, yeah. And it's the same with the lottery. Yeah, look, there you go. I'll hand it over. I'll hands it over. And yeah, I don't know what it is about me. I just, I don't want. Like people are like, wouldn't it be amazing if you had 1 million subscribers on YouTube? And I say, no, not really. I think it would be high pressure. I think it would create this expectation. I think, look, 200,000 would be lovely, and I'm working towards that. That's kind of my goal. 250, I'd be really happy with that. So yeah, look, it's I don't know. Maybe people will say you don't set the bar high enough. But I think I don't know. I'm realistic about the fact that I've been in various situations. I When I was making the most money, I was at my least happy. Let's put it that way. Let's flip it around on its head and say that right now, doing what I'm doing right now and doing this job, I'm making less money than I have of any other job in the last 10 years, and I'm happier than I've been for the last 10 years, as opposed to working a corporate job, doing things and saying things that I didn't want to say just because I did, because I had to toe the company line, doing things that didn't feel right in my soul, that just kind of made my heart hurt because I had to do these things that I knew were not the right things for society. Whereas now I get to do this. And I love it. So thank you. Thank you everyone for all of your support. You're all amazing people. There you go. I'll split it. Exactly. I'll split it equally amongst everyone. Doug Kidder says, I want to start a new Instagram for seniors if I win the lottery. Call it Jerry Graham. Oh, Grandma's gone wild. Oh, Doug. Jerry Graham. That's pretty good. There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Jerry Graham. It's going to be the latest thing. All right. Let's talk quickly about releasing music because that's what we do around here. We release music, and I use DistroKid to do that. And one of the things I got a question this week. It was actually from our mate Rock and Ronnie Ward. He wanted to know how do I make sure my DistroKid releases are copyright free and able to be played on live streams without the show host getting copyright hits on YouTube. So Ron was on Jade Starr's show this week. You might have seen a cool interview with Rock and Ronnie Ward from Homegrown Indie Live. And Jade was playing some of Ron's songs. And if you don't know, let's dive into the weeds, shall we? Let's look at how this actually works. So I'm going to jump in to my YouTube studio and take you for a little look behind the scenes. My Patreon folks get to see this every month in our Patreon live shows, which I've got to set one up actually for this Wednesday. So keep your eyes on your emails for that. But if I go into, for instance, the last Your Music Live show, I'm just opening this up here and then I'll bring you on across. Got to find it. Man, I do a lot of shows. All right, so this video here, if we open it up in the details, restriction, there we go. So here's what happens when I do Your Music Live. So Your Music Live, I play 40 songs every week. There's the playlist of all of the songs, including one that we didn't play. Have I updated it here yet after not playing it? I think I did. I think I removed it from there. So that's where redhead detention should be, and wasn't. But here's what happens every week. Because some people release their music and add copyright, add content ID to it, YouTube, after I do the live stream, comes back at me and I get an email every single week that says, yeah, guess what, Johns? You played some stuff and it's copyrighted. So that's where it says here, restrictions, copyright. So copy protected content found. The owner allows the content to be used, but you can't monetize your video. So this is why it's really important that I have DistroKid as the sponsor of Your Music Live, because unlike videos like this that I do that can be supported through ad revenue, through the ads that are run in the start and the mid-rolls and the ends of the shows, can't do that on Your Music Live because I get copyright claims. So let's see the details. Let's see who's to blame. And by the way, I don't blame these people. I've never said that you're not allowed to have content ID to play your song because that would limit it. But you can see here that we've got 1, 2, and 3. Excuse me, they're the 3 songs, and it says there that it's from CD Baby, that one. It says copyright owner is monetizing in these territories, so I can't monetize there. Video cannot be monetized. TuneCore on behalf of the that band, and Into Street Recordings on behalf of that band. So here's the thing, when you release through these distributors, these artists have chosen to add copyright and add content ID. The reason that folks usually choose to do that is that they want to protect themselves. They want to stop other people from being able to use their music in their YouTube videos without their permission. Is that fair enough? Yeah, pretty much. I get it. The problem there, the challenge there is, though, that it means that if you want to actually get exposure for your music, anytime anyone even plays your music, so an online show like mine or Metalhead Hippie or Jade or Thomas or anyone that wants to share your music with a wider audience and a wider community, every time we play a song that has content ID and copyright, we get a copyright claim. Now, there are some people and some shows that simply won't play that. So you're out of luck. But I don't actually mind, again, because I have the luxury. Now, if DistroKid were no longer sponsoring Your Music Live, I would have to make a change and say, no, sorry, if there's any that are copyright, they'll be removed from the show. And that would mean that those folks wouldn't get the exposure on their music. So to me, and here's the thing, that they're not monetized anyway, so there's actually no benefit for the artist. The way this is designed is that if like a Mr. Beast grabbed your song and then put it as a background in his video and got 1,000,012 views and then made $10,000, you'd be like, hey, I should get that $10,000 because he used my song. And yeah, fair enough. And that does happen. So that's why if you're a popular music artist, you probably would want to protect your music because it might be used in a video like that. The thing is, it's really unlikely for that to be the case, for that to happen. It's more likely people like me, where someone will use my song and it will flag it and it will say, "Hey, someone used your song in their video. It's got 12 views, and you might make 3 cents." So it really, in my opinion, it really isn't worthwhile adding content ID. It's kind of counterproductive. It prevents you. And there you go. Thomas gets 5 to 10 claims per week. So that's how it works at the back end. What about the front end? What if you did actually want to do this? Well, the reason that you don't see it from DistroKid artists very often is that DistroKid actually charge you extra to do it, which I actually agree with. I think this is a good thing to do. So when you upload music with DistroKid and you go to the very bottom here where all the extras are at, down here, there is this one here, which is YouTube. So YouTube Content ID and YouTube Creator Music. So $4.95 per year and 20% of YouTube ad revenue from the matches we detect. Get notified and paid if your music is ever used in any YouTube videos. We'll add this single to YouTube's Content ID database and continually scan for matches. When your music is detected in any YouTube video, you'll be notified. Your ad revenue will automatically go to you instead of to the person who uploaded the video. Your release will also be available in YouTube Shorts. Ooh. So yeah. So there's the thing. That's what you can actually do. Now, is it worth an extra $5? I don't know many people who are making more than $5 per year in revenue from their music being used in videos on YouTube. If that's you, if you're out there, I'm sure someone is, then let me know, because maybe I'm wrong. I'm always happy to be corrected. I'm always happy to learn. But in my experience, considering that every time you release something, every song you release, you're paying an extra $5 per year to have it as part of the YouTube Content ID database. And then you're paying 20% back to DistroKid of any of the money that you're earning there. And again, to pull the curtain back a little bit on how much YouTube content creators make on videos, it varies. But let's just say that 1,000 views nets you $5 in advertising revenue, and $100,000 nets you 100,000 views nets you $50. Is that right? No, it would net you $100. I don't know. My calculations are way off. You're only getting 80% of that anyway. So it's very unlikely that you're going to have your song used in a video that has enough views, that makes enough advertising revenue that you're split. Remember, YouTube are already taking 30%, so 70% of that, and then DistroKid are taking 20% of the 70%. So it doesn't really add up, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm part of the No Content ID Club as well, still Illa, and that's my thing. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, $7. I think here's the thing, because DistroKid also have like I think it's $5 per person you refer as part of their referral plan. A lot of people have signed up using my referral code. I've made a lot more from DistroKid and referring other people to DistroKid than my own music is probably ever going to make. So not retiring on my streaming revenues anytime soon. Thank you for sharing that one. Yeah, the Creator Rewind with Jade Star was a very cool time. What have we talked about? What have we got to go here? The new Macs are out. Oh, Trevor Bear. I did see you sneak in before, but I forgot to say g'day. Done the drugs and alcohol, take the money. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. But I don't look. It's cliche. Money doesn't buy happiness. But you know who says that? People that have enough money. Not enough money results in misery a lot of the time. So money doesn't buy happiness in excess, but it definitely helps out. And that's I think the missing link there when people say that is that, it's usually said by people that are living above the poverty line. As soon as you're living below the poverty line, you probably think that a little bit of money is going to buy you a heck of a lot of happiness. Just saying. Alrighty. It's done automatically through one of the libraries, maybe ASCAP something for me, which don't even understand what that even was. Yeah. And look, it's different. So ASCAP, BMI, the performing rights organizations, the PROs are different. So they won't actually, they'll get it from things like online radio stations and any radio airplay you get, any live play, plays in shopping centers, all that sort of stuff. So that's registering your song out there. I don't think that they do Content ID. Again, I'm happy to be corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure that if you just register a song with ASCAP or BMI, then they just collect royalties for your mechanical license royalties, not for streaming royalties and not for video content royalties. They may have added an additional option that allows for that now. I don't know. Have we played your songs before? I'll check. I'll try and find one of yours and see. I don't think I've got anything tagged from you. Yeah, services like Amuse or CD Baby. Yes. Yeah. That's a good point. So CD Baby in particular, the reason why the vast majority of mine are CD Baby is that they include Content ID in their package. So it's free, except it's not really. It's included. So when you pay for it, the reason CD Baby costs you a little bit more, it's release a single album for just $9.99. What you get? So yeah, you go monetization with YouTube Content ID. Let's see if we can get a little bit more detail on us. You have to sign up. I don't want to do that. Get paid weekly. Jeebus. That's a bit weird. There's got to be a better pricing model that actually gives you the details. Like, I'm sure there's different things. Yeah, so it says free, all of that, but it's not really. But single or album for $9.99. So does that mean a whole album is the same as a single? That doesn't seem to make sense. And I don't even like the fact that they don't have all the details here until you sign up. I'm assuming when I go through, if I went through, has anyone used CD Baby before? I'm assuming if I go through this and fill in this free account and definitely won't get spammed for life, I'm sure it'll tell me stuff, but I don't really want to sign up to an account at this point in time. Maybe I'll do it later. Yeah. That sounds right. It's got to be through a library. I've been refraining from adding to certain catalogs. Yeah, cool. So yeah, if you're with other platforms, maybe it is harder. But and look, I'm not gonna. Obviously, I use DistroKid, and I recommend DistroKid, and DistroKid are a sponsor. But I've also been using them for years before I actually did any sponsored work for them. So yeah, there's that. There's that to consider. Where were we at? Yeah, so Apple announcement, new Macs. Anyone lining up for a new Mac M3? I would like one. Again, money doesn't buy happiness. New Mac M3s buy happiness. So yeah, I won't be pulling the trigger on any new gear for some time because reasons. Because money. Because to be honest, I don't need an iMac, and I really don't need a new MacBook Pro. I would like a new MacBook Pro. It would help, but it's far from essential. And as you can see there here in Australia Town, it's from 2,699, not the 1,599 US. So that's a lot of money. And yeah, it's not something I need at the moment. I'm just using a very cheap and nasty Chromebook for my on-the-go stuff because it's really just doing things like setting up videos and live streams, doing a little bit of thumbnail work in Canva and the like. But yeah, it would be nicer to do all of that on a MacBook, but it's not essential. So not going to be something in my immediate future. I'm probably waiting to upgrade my Mac Mini, so I'll probably go with something more like the Mini or the Studio once they get upgraded to M3. That's right. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy a MacBook. So there's you go. What else do we have here? Oh, yeah, we had a question here. Running logic. So I had a question from Bill via email, and I thought I'd look up this now because I'm going to have to respond to his email anyway. So let's take a look. So he says, I'm using a Generation 8 iPad. I'm wondering if you have a recommendation for a wireless keyboard and mouse on my iPad. Maybe your setup would work. So yeah, I've got kind of two ways to go here with this, and both of them have their pros and cons. So I do think that the Magic Keyboard, I don't think it's available for the Gen 8. Let's go shopping here, shall we? So if we go to the iPad, and we go iPad, so that's the 9th and the 10th. So the 8th gen, go to the compare here, because even I get confused by this stuff here. So if we go the iPad 8th generation, which is this one here, that's the 10.2 inch Retina display, the A12 Bionic, still a really good laptop, still a really good iPad, by the way. Let's come on down. Supports Smart Keyboard. There you go. So it doesn't support the Magic Keyboard, it supports the Smart Keyboard. So let's go to the accessories and have a look at the Smart Keyboard, because smart keyboard for iPad. Let's see. So smart keyboard for iPad Pro, no, ninth gen, uh, 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 ninth gen. Is the ninth? No, the ninth gen's not the same size as the eighth gen, is it? Smart keyboard for 12.9 inch, Logitech touch keyboard. Um, so yeah, I believe that this one here. No, that's the Logitech. Where's the smart keyboard? I think this one actually is the one that is. Is this compatible with the eighth? Yes. So this is the keyboard. So this is like the Apple version, but the problem you're going to have is, unlike the Magic Keyboard, if you get the smart keyboard, you can see for starters, it is bloody costly. It is $269 Australian. I think it's $159 US, and you don't even get the trackpad. So I'm also not displaying my screen. And I have to do that at least once every live stream, or it's not a Pete Johns live stream. So that's what you get if you go that way. I actually would do a couple of things. So there's a little Logitech keyboard that I like. So mouses, any Bluetooth mouse is going to work. So you can basically just go in and grab yourself a Logitech Bluetooth mouse. In fact, the ones that I recommend. Let's go Logitech Quiet Mouse Me. So this is my favorite Bluetooth mouse for using anything, which is this one, the Silent Mouse. So if you search Logitech Quiet Mouse Pete Johns, you're going to get that one. It's the M590. It's a great little mouse. And as far as the keyboard goes, Logitech keyboard Pete Johns, I like this little sucker here. This one. So this is the that little. In fact, this video is probably what I'll send to Bill, because you can see there I've got the Logitech M590 and the Logitech keyboard, which I've forgotten the model. I'll have it down here. The K480. So K480 and the M590. So that's what I would go with, rather than, because I think those two combined will set you back probably less than $100 total. And you have a really nice setup. Both of those can be used with multiple devices. So the mouse, I think you can use with 2 different devices. I think the keyboard, you've got 3 devices you can use it with. So yeah, a really good option if you're using it. And there I'm using it with, I think, the old 12.9-inch Pro. But being Bluetooth, you can use them with everything, anything and everything. And yeah, they would both be over at the Gear Guide, the recommendations over at the Gear Guide Studio Live today. .com/gear. So hopefully that helps Bill out, and I'll reply to that email now that I know, and I'll just send him a link to that video, because that's going to be my recommendation on that one. What else did I have on my list to talk about here? I don't think this is going to work, because I think my setup here is not a happening thing. 1 second. I don't think I can get my iPad onto the screen here, which is why I was like before, I'm like, yeah, no, still a blank screen. Is that going to work? No. So I can't actually show you my iPad or my iPhone. I'm trying something different tomorrow with my happy hour. So I'm actually doing a sing-along karaoke style happy hour, and you can imagine what it's going to look like here, because pretend that my phone is in that space there. So I've done some trials here. I'm going to be using Apple Music and bringing the audio through without the lyrics. So playing just the backing track of some songs and doing some karaoke style for that one. So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I did hit an interesting point yesterday, and that was that after doing it for a while, see you, Doug Kidder, thanks for hanging out here. Go the Browns. What do you say? Is it go Browns? Go Browns, go. Everyone has something different to say. For Rangers, it's let's go Rangers. For the Knights, it's like go Knights, go. Yeah, I wonder what the Browns is. Let's get brown. Let's leave a brown streak. And hold for editing, and we're good. What was I talking about? Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I got a thing where the phone got so hot that it removed because it does the processing to remove those lyrics on device. which is why it's only within Apple Music and it's only available on the iPhone. So it got so hot doing this thing where it was displaying the lyrics on the screen, it was externally sending it via HDMI, and it was removing the lyrics and showing the backing track. Go Browns! That, yeah, it overheated and it said, we can no longer remove the lyrics. So that's a good thing to know because I'll probably have to get halfway through the show and then stop and do an acoustic song or two, and then maybe go back to it at the end. So we'll see how we go. My iPad Pro 4th Gen does not support Final Cut. So disappointed. I mean, maybe I'm an old man. I just can't. I can't even learn Final Cut at this point in time. I'm sticking with LumaFusion at least for the short term. Thank you, Rodriguez, for being here and for hanging out. I like it. So the final thing I just wanted to talk about here, and in case any of you have the similar sort of setup, I had a problem, and I'd love to be able to display it on the screen there because I actually took a screen capture of it. But a weird thing happened with my Apple One subscription. So if you're not aware, you saw it earlier in the show, the Apple One subscription is the thing where you get everything. So you get Apple Music, you get Apple TV, you get Apple Arcade, and importantly, you get 2 terabytes of storage. And I've got the family plan because all my family have iPhones and iPads and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's a good plan. I like it. The problem is that I actually ran out of space, so I added on top of that. So I was paying $42.95 for that. I added $14.95 a month for an extra 2 terabytes. But you might remember that at WWDC, Apple announced that they were going to actually add a 6 terabyte plan to go along with the extra 2 terabytes for people that used an extra lot of storage. So the problem was, instead of just leaving me on my 2 terabyte plan, they cancelled that. And then I had to re-add the 2 terabyte plan. It was really weird. I got no notification of this except an email that said, because I paid by PayPal, it said, here's a 43-cent refund for PayPal, which I'm assuming is for 1 day of the additional iCloud storage. And then I had to go and re-add it. But I only found out because it said your device, you don't have enough storage for all the stuff because I've got 2.6 gigabytes of stuff and I only had 2 gigabytes of storage. So it was a little bit weird. I'd screen recorded while I did it because I'm like, if anything goes wrong here, I'm going to have to be onto Apple. But thankfully, I just added the 2 terabyte plan back and it charged me $14.99. And now I've got my 4 terabytes back. So it was just a weird one. So after praising Apple before for their clear and concise communications, yeah, a bit of a bad apple for that one because they didn't give me any notice until it said, yeah, we can't back up your stuff. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah, you have the M series iPad, Joe, the Final Cut. LumaFusion is very good. Yeah, exactly. LumaFusion. LumaFusion is great. LumaFusion is good. You have no problems with the LumaFusion. We're going to finish up right on the 1.5 hour mark. That's about as long as I've got in me, to be honest. I don't know how people like Metalhead, Hippie, and Thomas do these 6 and 7 hour shows. I got to save my vocal pipes, save my golden pipes for tomorrow, where I'm going to belt out a few songs. And I'm just going to I've realised I've not set up the redirect here to send you to the happy hour. So let's set that redirect up now to send you to the sing along there. That's all Dunsky. Very good stuff. Yeah, exactly. Great communication and implementation is a different beast. Yeah, the intention is great. The intention is pure. The execution sometimes leaves a little to be desired. But isn't that the case for everyone and everything pretty much? So yeah, I wanted to thank everyone for being here. I am going to head out and do a little bit more testing because I'd love to do these on the go. I think these shows are a good candidate for not needing a whole lot in the way of extra bits. Obviously we showed some stuff on the screen and whatnot, but that's not essential for doing a sort of Ask Me Anything style show like this. So I'm hoping that we can do some more of these and be on location if I can get my mobile rig, because I'm a mobile creator. I've always wanted to do mobile stuff, so the ability to be out and about is pretty good. And Jade Starr's doing similar stuff at the moment, which I think is pretty cool, like out walking around and taking you with her and having a bit of a chat. So yes, Patreon folks, be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Rodriguez. Thank you to Mark. Thank you to Thomas, Joe, and Barry. Thanks for being here. Doug Kidder, who's left us now. Thank you. Thank you, anyone. Thanks for the questions that you folks have had. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for letting me have a wee vent here on a Saturday morning. It is time for me to go and get my stuff together and get on with the rest of the day. So, as we say at the end of each and every show, by Jenny and by Sylvie, thank you, by the way, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Keep creating, folks, and I'll see you next time here on Studio Live today. Bye for now.